E1 Series is the world's first electric powerboat racing championship. We've got teams owned by some of the biggest stars in sport and entertainment, including LeBron James and Tom Brady and Will Smith. And my background is I was a TV producer making sports shows for 25 years.
Nice. Well, let's dive directly into that background before we start getting into the nitty gritty of E1. You've been across different, very pioneering organizations in sports, right? Moving from Hawkeye to Formula E and now E1. What drew you to starting a sport from scratch with E1, and how did you get involved in that business?
So I've been really lucky in my career to be involved in some sort of revolutionary moments in sport. So I was one of the producers on the first IPL in 2008, and then was part of the team that brought the Paralympics to Channel 4, was part of the first 34th America's Cup, which is when the America's Cup moved to foiling with Larry Ellison's investment. And I joined Formula E at the scale-up stage, so just at the beginning of its third season. And about 2.5 years ago, the CEO of E1, Roddy Basso, gave me a call and said, "Look, we're starting this new thing. How do you feel about coming in?" And the truth is, I was envious of the people that had been at the previous events I've been involved with from the beginning. He'd done all the planning, who'd got it from PowerPoint to product. So it wasn't a hard decision to say yes.
So it's not necessarily that you've been lucky to be in early stage companies. You're actually searching for this. This is what excites you.
Yeah, I'm one of those mad people that find startup life fun. I think it's a slightly challenging existence because you never have enough money, you never have enough people, and you you know your resources are always going to be limited. But the feeling of victory when it goes well is worth all of the pain.
Yeah, not that I know any other kind of way, but I think I prefer that to the processes and long political decisions when you start being a bigger organization, so the workflow. So I can relate to that. And so tell us a little bit more about E1. What are you guys delivering? You're obviously at a scale where you're 40-ish now, if I'm not wrong. So help us understand for the people who are don't know what E1 is doing exactly.
So E1 races are foiling electric race birds, the E1 race bird, all around the world. So we've been on 4 continents now in our 12 races, the Middle East, in Europe, in Africa, and the Americas, in incredibly luxurious, cool, glamorous locations like Lake Como and Monaco, and we were in Miami 3 weeks ago. And our teams are owned by these sort of superstars of sport and entertainment, but also the pilots are really interesting. So we're a gender parity sport. Each team has one male and one female pilot, and they contribute evenly to the team's performance. It's a bit like F1, except on water. So we have a quali day and then a race day, and at the end of it, we crown a champion.
I have to say, I met one of your probably somebody from your team recently. I was like, I could do your job. Like, I could go to all those nice places with the high speed boats and like new competition. That sounded like something that was nice and appealing. And so, where are you at? And so, you're in season number
We're
two.
in between. We're in between seasons 2 and season 3. So we started in 2024, in January 2024. 5 races that year, 7 races this year. There should be 8 races next year, starting in January 23rd.
So, what's the type of audience that we're looking at, both from an in venue perspective as well as from on digital platforms?
So on digital platforms, we do really well, and that's largely because of the amazing reach of our team owners. So we're obviously a new sport and have a building audience, but the team owners between them have a reach of 1 billion. So when they help amplify our content, we do really, really well. Last year, we did 630 million video views in 5 races, and we're on track for a sort of similar ratio this year. In terms of in venue, it really depends on where we are. So some of our events are big on-site audiences. So this year, Qatar and Lagos had tens of thousands of people there. But then we also do sort of very small bespoke events like Lake Como, where we might have a few hundred people in hospitality.